In 2002, a U.S. Navy SEAL Special Operations team vanished without a trace in Antarctica. Their mission was classified, but whispers leaked out about a strange anomaly detected deep beneath the ice, an ancient structure, impossibly old, buried under 2 miles of frozen water. The rescue team sent to find them? They disappeared too. Official reports cited extreme weather, but some insiders told a different story. They said the rescue team's last broadcast was just 7 words. "It's not a structure, it's a city." Then, chillingly, "They're not dead. They're not dead." Followed by static. This story, whether fact or fiction, captures the terrifying possibility of what might lie beneath the most isolated continent on Earth. What if they really did find a city under the ice? What would happen to humanity if we discovered we were never alone? For decades, we've looked to the stars for intelligent life, scanning distant galaxies with massive radio telescopes. But what if we've been looking in the wrong direction all along? What if the greatest discovery in human history is right here, under our feet, locked away in a frozen tomb? Antarctica is a land of extremes. It's the coldest, driest, and highest continent, with 98% of its surface covered by an ice sheet that's on average over a mile thick. For most of human history, it was a blank spot on the map, a mythical land at the bottom of the world. But modern technology, from ground-penetrating radar to satellite imaging, has started to peel back the layers of this icy mystery. And what we're finding is rewriting everything we thought we knew. In 2016, scientists discovered a massive gravitational anomaly in an area known as Wilkes Land. It's a disturbance in Earth's gravity field so large, it can only be explained by a massive object, something 300 miles wide, buried half a mile beneath the ice. They call it the Wilkes Land Anomaly. Officially, the leading theory is that it's the remains of a giant impact crater from an asteroid that dwarfed the one that wiped out the dinosaurs. But other, more fringe theories suggest something else entirely. They point to ancient maps, like the Peary Race map from 1513, which appears to show the coast of Antarctica without its ice cap, something that shouldn't have been possible for human cartographers of that era. Could this anomaly be the location of a prehistoric civilization, a lost city like Atlantis, but one preserved in ice instead of drowned by water? Let's imagine the moment of discovery. A specialized drilling team, after months of battling sub-zero temperatures and equipment failures, finally breaks through the last layer of ice. A remote-operated vehicle, or ROV, equipped with high-definition cameras and lights, is lowered into the cavernous space below. The control room is silent, the team holding their breath as the first images flicker onto the screen. It's not a natural cave. The walls are smooth, impossibly so. There are patterns, geometric shapes carved into the dark, unknown material. The ROV glides forward, its lights cutting through the darkness of millennia, and then it appears, a spire, an impossibly tall, slender structure rising from the cavern floor, disappearing into the gloom above. It's adorned with symbols unlike any human language, glowing with a faint internal light. It's not a natural formation, it's architecture. The world would change in that instant. News of the discovery would spread like wildfire, eclipsing every other headline. Governments would scramble. A coalition of nations would immediately declare the site a global heritage zone, cordoning off the entire continent. No more commercial flights, no more tourist expeditions. Antarctica would become the most restricted place on Earth. Scientists, linguists, engineers, and historians from every country would be flown in. The greatest minds of our generation, all focused on a single goal: to understand who or what built this city. And more importantly, are they still there? The initial exploration would be cautious, methodical. Robotic drones would map the city first. They'd reveal a metropolis of breathtaking scale, buildings that dwarf our tallest skyscrapers, connected by elegant bridges and vast, open plazas. The architecture wouldn't resemble anything human. It would be organic, flowing, as if grown rather than built. There would be no sharp corners, no rigid lines. The materials would be a mystery, self-healing, energy-conducting, and seemingly immune to the ravages of time. Inside these buildings, they'd find technology beyond our wildest dreams. Devices that manipulate gravity, energy sources that tap into the fabric of space-time, and data storage systems that hold the entire history of a civilization spanning millions of years. But as the exploration continues, a chilling realization would dawn. The city is empty. There are no bodies, no skeletons, no signs of a struggle or a plague. It's as if the inhabitants simply vanished. They left behind their art, their technology, their knowledge, but not themselves. The mystery deepens. Where did they go?
Did they ascend to a higher plane of existence? Did they journey to the stars? Or did they just leave? This is where the real fear would set in. An empty city is one thing. A city that was deliberately abandoned is another. It implies a choice. It implies they left for a reason. Then the deciphering of their language begins. It's not a language of sounds or symbols, but of light and frequency. A universal language based on mathematics and physics. As we slowly translate their records, the story of this ancient race unfolds. They weren't from Earth. They were visitors, refugees from a dying star system who arrived on our planet millions of years ago, long before the first hominids walked the plains of Africa. They saw the potential in Earth's nascent life and chose to observe, not interfere. They built their city beneath the ice of a then temperate Antarctica, a place of quiet solitude where they could watch the grand experiment of life on Earth unfold. Their records would be the ultimate history book. They would show us the rise and fall of the dinosaurs, the great extinction events, the slow, painful evolution of humanity. We'd see our own history from an outside perspective, our wars, our triumphs, our foolishness. It would be a humbling and perhaps terrifying experience. We would learn that they were masters of biology and genetics. They could have easily wiped us out or altered our evolutionary path, but they chose not to. They were galactic gardeners, and we were one of the strange, beautiful, and sometimes violent flowers in their garden. But the final translated message would be the most world-altering of all. It wouldn't be a history, it would be a warning. They didn't just leave, they fled. Their records speak of a cosmic threat, a force that moves from galaxy to galaxy, consuming civilizations, a devourer of worlds. This entity doesn't travel through space in ships, it travels through dimensions. The ancients detected its approach and knew they couldn't fight it. Their only option was to run, to abandon their home on Earth and jump to another, safer reality. Their last message would contain the coordinates to their destination, but it would also contain the projected arrival time of the entity they were fleeing. And that arrival time wouldn't be in 1,000,000 years or 1,000. It would be within our lifetime. Suddenly,
the discovery of the city under the ice wouldn't be a triumph. It would be a death sentence. We would have found proof of intelligent alien life only to learn that we're next on the menu for a cosmic horror. The technology they left behind, it wasn't just a gift, it was a test. It was a lifeline. They left us the tools to potentially save ourselves, to follow them, or to stand and fight. The fate of humanity would rest on our ability to understand and master a technology that is millions of years beyond our own, all with a clock ticking down to our own extinction. The world would fracture. Some would call for us to use the technology to flee, to abandon Earth as the ancients did. Others would argue for a last stand, to militarize the alien technology and fight for our home. Religions would be thrown into chaos. New cults would form, worshiping the ancients or the coming devourer. Global paranoia would be rampant. Who can you trust when the enemy is a concept, not a fleet of ships? The discovery of the city under the ice wouldn't unite humanity. It would tear us apart, forcing us to confront our deepest fears and our most fundamental beliefs about our place in the universe. The silent, frozen continent of Antarctica would become the epicenter of humanity's final, desperate chapter. And it all started with a lost rescue team and a 7-word radio broadcast that hinted at a truth far more terrifying than anyone could have imagined. What would you do? Would you run or would you fight? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, be sure to subscribe for more.